Okay, so in ESPN's top 50 players in the bubble, we got LeBron number 1, we got Giannis number 2, we have Kawhi number 3. Kawhi, of course, just had the heroic postseason run. Giannis, best player of the season. LeBron, still fair to think that he's the guy you trust the most in terms of reading defenses and making the right play, attacking switches, and he's been better defensively this year, all that type of stuff. How would I order this? I would still have LeBron number 1 for everything I just said. I think it's not just the playmaking, and that's a lot of it, but it's just the way that he can just see a defense and know within a couple of minutes or whatever, this is what they're going to do, this is who they're going to close out, or this is who they're going to leave open, I should say, and this is where the help's going to come from, all that type of stuff. Whereas with Giannis, I think it's still fair to question how good he really is at that stuff, because that was how the Raptors beat him in the postseason, right? And so it's like, is he going to be able to do that? You know, like when he's facing the Celtics or the Raptors or Philly or however the seeding in the East pans out. Is he just going to be able to spot the open guy right away? Is he going to be able to attack a switch all the time? Just the things that LeBron does second nature, is Giannis going to be able to do? Now, the fact that Kawhi is not one of the people that Giannis is going to have to deal with, that certainly matters. So that right there could push Giannis to number 2, because I mean, like, Kawhi and LeBron are going to deal with each other. Like, one of them is going to lose to the other one, right? We assume, unless there's an upset. So I think it's fair to have Giannis at number 2 over Kawhi. If we're going off of who's the MVP and the best regular season stats, it's Giannis in a landslide. I mean, Giannis's numbers are obscene, especially when you account for the fact that he played, 31 minutes a game or something like that? But the postseason is a whole different thing, and it should be mentioned that Kawhi's playmaking has gotten a little better, you know? So I think all of this matters, and Kawhi's shot making and the way that he can just hit threes with a big man switched onto him or whatever. It's just more stuff that Kawhi just kind of can go to at any time, whereas compared to Giannis, it's not there as much. Now, of course, Giannis is unstoppable when it comes to getting to the basket, but even then we saw that it was a little possible to slow him down when he goes to the rim. We saw it against the Raptors. So I think if I was going to do this, I would have... It feels wrong to say this, because Giannis is so by far and away the best player of this season, but it's LeBron 1, Kawhi 2, Giannis 3 to me. Now, I should mention, as I've said this in other videos, but I'll say it here too, I still think the Bucks are going to make the finals. So, as I say all these things, I still believe in them quite a lot. I would just put Kawhi and LeBron above Giannis. That's pretty much it. I don't know for a fact what would my prediction be if it ends up being Bucks Clippers? Because, I mean, I've been saying Lakers over Bucks all year, but if it's the Clippers, that'd be interesting. I honestly don't know what I would predict. Anthony Davis at number 5. Is there a glaring omission that should be ahead of Davis? I mean, Embiid at 6, Luka at 7, PG at 8. I think Paul George at number 8 is an interesting one that we can talk about. But, yeah, I can't picture anybody else outplaying Anthony Davis in the upcoming playoffs. I mean, I guess if you were going to think about it, like maybe Embiid if he's really at his best and, you know, Philly's spacing could be better. Luka, maybe Luka's really that good right now. But second season, never been in the playoffs, going to be facing more aggressive defenses and things like that. I think it's fair to think that Luka wouldn't be that good, as in above AD. PG at number 8, I don't trust Paul George to play as well as Anthony Davis. That's pretty much that. Jokic at number 9. I mean, possibly. He was great against the Blazers. And the questions about him being a scorer were answered. But even so, I think the difference defensively with AD is really high. I do think it's interesting that Embiid was put at number 6, and we could talk about that. But I'm trying to think of like anybody who could potentially outplay Davis. Jimmy, no. Dame, potentially. I think Dame at number 11 is a little too low. Because like if you guaranteed the Blazers get in there, even if they would lose in round 1, like I'll take Dame over a bunch of dudes. Could Dame outplay AD? I mean, yeah, he could. I could picture that. Westbrook. Yeah, I mean, if Westbrook maintains what he was doing, I think he could outplay Anthony Davis in the series. I like the fact that Westbrook is 12th here. You can see that ESPN and Bleacher Report have sort of different mentalities when it comes to some of these things. Like, I mean, ESPN's a little closer to how I feel about Westbrook. You know, I would routinely say he's like top 15 or so. No Chris Middleton yet, for what that's worth. And I think at this point, we're probably not going to find anybody who would outplay Anthony Davis in a series, I don't think. Yeah, so to eventually get back to Anthony Davis, I think it's fair to have him number 5. Embiid at number 6, I mean, it depends on what Embiid you're getting. I mean, are you getting the Embiid who's going to be great every single game, or are we not? Because if that's the case, like, I think Luka and PG and Jokic and Jimmy and other guys could certainly outplay Embiid, but if he's going to be at his best, he's going to have the stamina, he's going to have the mental thing to just bring it every possession, then not only can Embiid be number 6, he could be even higher. I already gave a little bit of the Lucas spiel, so we can move on. Yeah, Paul George at number 8. So I think it comes back to his lack of great ball handling. Not to say that he can't bust out an ISO or stuff occasionally, but it's just not something he can go to all the time. And if you have a good defender on him and you're a good defensive team, then I do think you can slow him down quite a bit. Number 8, I mean, I would have him a little lower personally. Like, I think Jokic is better than Paul George. I think Jimmy is better than Paul George. I know that's been a conversation a few times. I just think the amount of times that Jimmy has just instantly made a team better and then that team has fallen off once he was gone, it's happened so many times at this point to where I'm just like, I just think he's better than Paul George pretty much. Dame, I mean, I gave the Dame spiel. I think Dame is better than PG. And then Westbrook, I mean, I would put Paul George over Westbrook, but I would also acknowledge that if we're going to get the never missing mid-range jump shots Westbrook, then that guy's probably better than Paul George as well. Yeah, PG's an interesting case of something. Anyway, I think we can move on to some more guys in the teens. So Tatum at 13. This is probably a little safer of a placement for him. Is there potentially a little bit of like ESPN doesn't want to awaken the Westbrook crowd too much? Maybe, but it's also not ridiculous to just have Westbrook at number 12. You know, I think it's fair. Tatum. Yeah, the Tatum Siakam thing is a conversation. Every like week I get a Tatum or Siakam take on Twitter from somebody, or a question I should say. I think Tatum is better than Siakam. I think the shot creation just puts him at another level. But we'll just have to assume that Tatum maintains the like month and a half he had of being one of the best players in the league. We assume that the step back threes are not going to maintain a high 40s, low 50s percentage, which I believe is what they were. Like it was at a clip that was impossible to maintain. But if Tatum could even out at 37-38% on step back threes, or the side step 3 thing that he does, and he continues to put his head down and attack the rim and draw contact, yeah, he could definitely be a top 15 guy in the bubble, especially because we assume he's going to maintain the defense. Whereas in the case of Siakam, like when you compare Siakam to Tatum, like Siakam has definitely made strides with his shot creation and all that, but it's not as second nature to him the way it is with Tatum. Like, I feel like with Siakam, it's still a little tiny bit of him having to figure out what move he's going to make before he does it, even if he's still damn good at it. And I bet you if we gave him another year, he could have the fluidity of Tatum as a shot creator. But at this point, it's like Tatum doesn't need to think about what he's doing. He just naturally does it, depending on how the defense is defending him, you know? But Siakam is still really, really good. There's no doubt there. Chris Paul at 15. Okay, so in the Bleacher Report video, I said that I would have Chris Paul in the top 10. I still would here. I would have Chris Paul above everybody here. Well, besides Dame, who I would also have higher. Sure, a lot of these guys, they might average more points than Chris Paul. They also take a lot more shots than CP does. I mean, he's just the model of how good efficiency can be. You know what I mean? Like 17 points on 60% true shooting or something, combined with his defense and everything. Like to me, he should just be higher. That's me. And I think OKC is a frightening enough team. I mean, there's a chance this blows back in my face and Chris Paul doesn't go nuts, but I'm willing to put myself out there because I think he's been that good this season. So I would have him. Where would I put Chris Paul? I would put him above everybody here. I mean, I would have Dame higher as well, so for what that's worth. I mean, if I end up reshuffling everything, Chris Paul's like number 10 or number 9 or something, so there you go for me. Where's my guy Kyle Lowry? Where's Lowry on this thing? Simmons at 16, he's shooting threes now, man. It's very interesting, it's very scary, very good or bad way. I mean, we'll have to see. The interesting thing about Simmons when he's taking those threes is what's he going to do when he's missed a couple in a row? I mean, I know he missed the first one, and then he made the next one in the scrimmage, so that's good, but, you know, a playoff game, he's missed 2 threes in a row, he's open again from 3. Is he going to take it? I don't know. Middleton at 17. All right, so we're trusting Chris Middleton over Kyle Lowry. I don't agree. I do not agree. I don't even know if I would agree with trusting Ben Simmons over Kyle Lowry, but I can at least see the rationale. I don't trust it with Middleton. I mean, I did this whole spiel for Middleton on the Bleacher Report video. I think 17 is more of a fair placement for the guy, because I get it, you know, 20 points, 50, 40, 90, I get it. Okay, very well-rounded player. But Gobert at 18. Yeah, the interesting thing about the Gobert, when you talk about him against the Houston and all that, there's cases to be made that it wasn't really his fault for the Rockets killing the Jazz. Like, for one, they held Harden to some pretty rough shooting percentages towards on the second time they played each other. As for the first one, I mean, you know, if you're giving Harden a wide open lane because nobody can stay in front of the dude, like, at that point, Gobert's just kind of screwed, you know what I mean? So 18th is probably fair, and we'll have to see who the hell the Jazz end up playing and all that, and there's a lot of conversations about Utah to be had. Would I have Gobert higher? I probably would. I would have him over Middleton and maybe just Middleton. I don't know. Ben Simmons is such an interesting case of whatever. I'm probably disagreeing with some of the things I said in the Bleacher Report vid, but I don't know, okay? I've been influenced by these lists. Lowry at 19, okay. Yeah, I would have Lowry higher. I would have Lowry ahead of Gobert, Middleton, Simmons, not Chris Paul. Would I have him over Siakam? You know what, I would. I would have him over Siakam. Because, I'll say it again, man, you know, with Lowry, he was really good in the finals. You know, put up a solid, 16 and 7 on pretty good efficiency. And he was amazing against the Bucks. He averaged 20 a game in that series, you know? So, I believe in Kyle Lowry completely. Now, he, of course, had the help of Kawhi. That's fair. But, still like him a lot. Kemba at 20. It depends on the knee, man. We getting a healthy Kemba or are we not? I don't know. Where's Zion in all this? Bam 21. Don Mitch 22. Zion 23. Yeah, I mean, I think Zion's better than Mitchell already. That might upset somebody. Is Zion better than Bam right now? I mean, in some ways, yes. In other ways, no. Bam is so solid defensively and all that. But even so, I need to maintain my irrational, Zion is already a top 12 player take. So you know what? To be consistent, I would have Zion over Mitchell and Bam and Kemba. I can't put him over Lowry. But again, I would have Lowry higher here. Would I put Zion over Gobert? Yeah. Zion over Middleton? Yes. I'm just, you know what, man? I am shamelessly living in a world where I think Zion is already better than, almost every NBA player. You know what I mean? And I'm willing to walk that plank, even if it's mainly just off of offensive rebounding and finishing at the rim and Whatever else. I've acknowledged that his pick and roll defense sucks right now. I know. KP at 24. Yeah, I guess this seems fine. I mean, they've been playing him at center, which makes him a little more interesting. Jalen at 25. So here's an interesting thing. Remember on Bleacher Report, they had Shea, Jalen, and Donovan Mitchell all together? Here, we've got Donovan Mitchell 22, Jalen 25, and then I think they had Shea, like... Because I took a look at this beforehand. They had Shea, like, way out there. Yeah, 35. So it just goes to show you the difference between everything. I guess we can talk about Shea real quick, since I just skipped a whole bunch of players. Is Shea better than Lou Will? Yeah. Especially because, I mean, I said it before, like, Lou Will, go down Lou Will's playoff stats. He's been bad more than he's ever been good in the postseason. Shea, I would have him over Jamal Murray. Would I have him over Ja Morant? Shea? I don't think I would. And I guess we can talk about Ja a little bit. So, I mean, I would already have Booker higher, but, like, I would have Ja over Van Fleet. Would I have Ja Morant over Montrez? Yeah. I'm just a full-on Montrez hater at this point. Like, he's still going to average, like, 17 and 10 or whatever. Let's see, Sabonis. Well, Sabonis is out, so that one's out. Would I have Ja Morant over CJ McCollum? Yeah, probably. So, maybe not Drew, but yeah. So I would probably have Ja a little bit higher. Do I think Shea is better than Booker? No, I would definitely have Devin Booker higher than a lot of the people ahead of him. I've been pretty consistent with that, saying that I think Devin Booker deserves a little bit more. Like Fred VanVleet, come on, man. I like VanVleet a lot, but over Devin Booker, and I get it, you know, the Suns, they're not going to make the playoffs, they don't have a chance, anything like that, but really? Come on, dude. I would certainly have Devin Booker over CJ and Drew and Jalen and Porzingis and whatever else. I do appreciate that Vucevic is at 37 and not like whatever he was, according to Bleacher Report's thing. Marcus Smart at 38. Okay, so I love this. I don't know if I really agree with it. Like, let's see. Like, come on, Brogdon's better than Marcus Smart. Like, let's be honest here. I'm all for being a biased Celtics fan, but there is a line, and the line is Marcus Smart being the 38th best player in the bubble. Like, Brogdon's better than him, Gallo's better, De'Aaron Fox is better. I don't know if Tobias is better. Maybe that's the cutoff. I mean, he still averages a lot more points, I get it, but you know, it's an interesting thing. Bledsoe at 43. Yeah, Bledsoe, definitely a guy who could play poorly again. I mean, it's kind of an interesting thing. Like, if you were going off of just Bledsoe's regular season performance, then you would have him over quite a few dudes. But if you think about how he has not played as well in the playoffs, then this isn't insane, I feel like. The one dude I would have higher is Marc Gasol for his defense, his passing, and, well, basically those two things, but I think that can go a long way. I would have him over Conley. I would have him over Ingram. It's kind of weird. Like, I feel like Ingram is a better player than Marc Gasol, but for this specific environment, I think Gasol will be better than Ingram. So yeah, over those two, I would have him over Jaren Jackson. I would have him over Brook Lopez, Bob Cove, Bledsoe, yeah. But maybe I'm getting carried away. Marc Gasol is going to average, like, he's going to average like 9 points a game in the playoffs. I understand that completely, but you know, it goes a long way when you can be great defensively and do the right things on offense and all that stuff. Anyway, yeah, and then we got Schroeder at 50. No love for my guy Horford.